Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is week 36 of my doing 100 weeks of YouTube videos and focusing on living a healthier and happier life. So, yay for week 36. I apologize, I'm holding my phone today, so to make this video, so if it gets a little choppy or bouncy, I'm so sorry. So technically week 36 was like 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to try to remember what I did 2 weeks ago because it was my birthday week, so I can probably remember what I did. So gonna start with, I guess, socially. Can't say I did much. I mean, I went to work on my birthday, had tons of people wish me happy birthday. That was fun. I did go see my kids on Friday to go out for my birthday. That was fun. And then, of course, my son bought me some stuff, and then he paid for us to play pool together because that's what he wanted to do, which is fine because I got to spend time with my kids, so I didn't really care what it was we got to do. He actually just paid for dessert at the restaurant. I bought dinner for me and my kids, and then he bought dessert. And then, of course, he paid for me to play half an hour of pool with him. So it wasn't like it was hugely expensive, but it was really sweet of him to do that. So that was fun. And then, of course, I went to the temple Saturday, like I always do, and to church on Sunday. So that was good. So yeah, that's what I did. Um, so not a whole lot socially. Just kind of did that. Kind of scrolled through Facebook a little bit on my birthday just to get all the happy birthday wishes because I like happy birthday wishes. So that's pretty much. Emotionally, I have been so bad. I have not been making my videos. I have not been journaling. Well, I've been journaling, but I've been journaling in the morning before work instead of after work. It has been not good. I need to get that switched around. So, haven't really been dealing with my emotions, which is not good. So definitely need to work on that. Spiritually, I've been pretty good still at reading my scriptures and meditationals every day and trying to see myself the way that God sees me and trying to do better. So I think that's okay. That's going okay. Physically, of course, because it was my birthday and I went out to eat, I chose to eat things that I should not eat. Not the best decision in the world, but decision nonetheless. And my kids are like, it's okay, it's your birthday. And I'm like, it's okay, it's my birthday. I'm going to have an upset stomach. I only took a couple bites of the dessert because it just was not settling in my stomach well. So I'm like, yeah, I tried it with my daughter because the other one tasted a little bit better. And then I was like, yeah, I should not eat this. And ended up just giving it to my son for him to have later. And I did take my dinner home, half of it. I ate half of it there, and I brought the other half home. And I thought I got some without cheese, and then there was some with cheese, and I chose to eat it. And then, of course, my tummy hated me later. So, physically, not doing a whole lot better there. Oddly enough, despite the fact that I haven't been very good at exercising or any other such thing this week, although physically I did go see the doctor Monday, and she did tell me, which is very nice. I did get to see my blood work, so that was good. My cholesterol is still not where it's supposed to be. So my bad cholesterol went up, but my good cholesterol also went up. So, but the ratio between the good and the bad went down, so it's closer to where it's supposed to be. But the overall number, I think, went up. It went from 192 to 197, but it's still under 200. So it still means I don't need medication, but I should probably still monitor it because it's still not balanced. My AC1, on the other hand, went from 6.2 to 5.9, so it's actually going in the right direction, which is down. So that's very happy. Also, my pants feel like they're falling off of me every time I'm walking around my house. They're just like sliding down. I haven't really lost any weight though. The scale keeps telling me that I am still the whole 227 or whatever that I weighed this week, and I was like, I'm not losing any weight, but my pants are getting bigger. So I don't understand that. I don't know if I've just stretched them out or if my body's just re-shifting where my fat is at, but somehow my pants are getting bigger, which I like because I wouldn't mind being a smaller size, but just not really sure how that works. Seriously, I have no idea how that works. So, but I mean, other than that, I've been pretty good at eating healthy. I think I did for my birthday, I did eat the, nope, I didn't, never mind. No, I've been pretty good the rest of the week for eating food. I did make some chocolate muffins for my birthday. They did not turn out as good as I thought they would because I experimented with some flour that I bought at the store, and I can't remember what kind of flour that I bought. So it was really an experiment, and I think I put too much flour in, because when you use flour substitutes to different things, sometimes you have to use less than the recipe calls for, and sometimes more depending on the type of flour. And since I couldn't remember the type of flour, I just put it in the same as I would like the regular flour, and I think it was too heavy. It was too thick. So it didn't taste quite right. It was very heavy, my muffins, and not very chocolatey. So might have to do something different with that the next time. But yeah. So mentally, I did work on my book because I was supposed to be turned in by the 21st. And I waited until like Saturday to even work on it, and I did like 3 or 4 chapters on Saturday, and then I stayed up all night Sunday trying to work on that. Not all night, I just stayed up really late Sunday, and I still had 5 chapters to go, and I sent an email to my publisher, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to get us all behind because I need a few more days to finish this because I can't do it. I just didn't get it done in my 2 weeks that I had it, mostly because I just didn't do it, not because I didn't have the time to do it, just because I didn't do it. So then there's that whole mentally thing that just drives me crazy, because I can't seem to, whatever my mental block is, sometimes I have a hard time getting over, and I was finally getting past that Sunday to do it, but again, I didn't have enough time. I ran out of time, and of course, it was 10 o'clock Sunday night, and I was like, okay, deadline, and it's not going to make it. I still have 5 more chapters, no idea how many more hours I have to work. So I was like, nope, not going to happen. So, yeah, mentally, emotionally dealing with some kind of hurdles, haven't entirely figured them all out. I do think some of it has to do with just standing up for myself and, just saying what I want for my book, and not dealing with the rejection part of things, because I'm just not good at that, dealing with rejections. There's that other part of it, I think, that I realized, anytime I was writing stories growing up, my biological mom, I would tell her the story, and she would sit down and type it up, and she would reword everything and rewrite it, and then it didn't feel like my story anymore. And I know she was trying to help me. She was trying to give me the best version of stuff. She was trying to make it grammatically correct, and she didn't do any of that intentionally to hurt me. And I know that I don't mean bad by saying that. I'm just saying that my personal mental interpretation of that situation was that what I wrote or what I did wasn't good enough, and she had to redo it, or that her version was better than my version. So I was just really struggling with that, because I really just didn't want, I just really don't want contractions in my story. And then having to stand up for that, having to explain that, having to do all of that, and then just being afraid of the backlash and what's going to come and what's going to happen. And so then I just avoided working on my book, because I was trying to avoid having to face that. And then it's like, okay, but the sooner I face that, the better I will feel about it. So just a lot of emotional barriers that I created that I had to jump through, trying to just get myself to do things. And the sad thing is that when I avoid one thing, like my book, that I was avoiding because I just didn't want to deal with having to make all the changes. I didn't want to have to go through and look at all of the contractions and reject all of them, and having to go back through and reread all of the edits and go through my book again, because it's a daunting task. It's overwhelming. It kind of takes the fun out of everything. And just focusing on all the negative when it came to that kind of just consumed my brain and my emotions. And so when I don't do the one thing that I'm trying to not do, I seem to not do anything else. And that includes making my videos, and that includes cleaning my house, that includes exercising, journaling, all of those things. So the fact that I still got myself to journal for every day is at this point amazing to me, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But still just frustrated with myself for the whole process. And I realize it's just me, that this has always been me, to be honest. I always get gung-ho on a project. I get halfway through and I stop, or the beginning's easy to start, the ending I'm like, yes, I'm finally done. But somewhere in the middle, I just want to quit. And a lot of times I just quit and I never finish. So I'm still trying to finish. Like, this is already taking me like 2 years, and I'm only on week 36 because I just don't do it on a weekly basis. And I could have already finished my 100 days of doing things I don't want to do every day if I had just made my videos. I even wrote down probably 2 weeks worth of stuff if I would just read them and make videos for them, and I just haven't done it. So my life just slips away when I feel like I just put everything on hold, and I don't have a reason to. I just emotionally, I do that because I hit these mental blocks, and it's really hard sometimes for me to figure that out. And I am so grateful to God for pointing out to me, helping me to see and reveal to me what some of my mental blocks are, because being aware of what they are helps me to kind of overcome the hurdle. And even when I can look at it and realize, my biological mom wasn't doing anything to hurt me. She wasn't trying to do anything wrong. She was trying to help me. She was trying to help me have the best version. But I just misunderstood everything because I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just assumed her way was better. And it kind of taught me as a kid, and I still have that mentality as an adult, that anytime I do something, if someone else can do it better, I just let them do it. I just back off and I let other people do things for me that I'm capable of doing for myself, because I just assume that they do it better than I do, or that people aren't going to like my version, and therefore I have to let other people do it. So this is like a mentality that I have taken on as part of my personality, as something that I do. If someone else can do something for me so I don't have to, I'm like, okay, you do it for me. This is fantastic. I'm the little damsel in distress. I can't do anything, because I think I grew up that way, because it's like whatever I did wasn't good enough and someone else could always do it better. And my biological dad wasn't nice about it. Like, my biological mom, she thought it was, she was helping me, and she was trying to help me, and she would listen to what I had to say, and then she would type it up and reword it and make it better or make it her own. Either way you want to look at it, that's what she would do. My biological dad, on the other hand, he just had no patience whatsoever, and he didn't do something fast enough, or he didn't do it right, and he would just shove me out of the way. I'm like, you can't do this, you don't know what you're doing, and he just shoved me, and I was like, your history, and then he would just take over and he would just do it. And then he would wonder what happened to me, and I was like, yeah, you completely ignored me, and you pushed me away and told me I couldn't do anything, and you didn't bother to teach me how to do it or how to get it right. You just told me I can't do it, and that was that. So I have this, in my brain, this is what I grew up with. This was what I was surrounded by. So anytime anybody wants to take over or do something, I just automatically shut down, or I just walk away, or I'm just like, okay, sure, you do it for me, and then it will be the best version possible, and then I won't get in trouble, I won't get yelled at, and everybody was happy. Except that I didn't actually learn how to do things that way, and it wasn't something that I was happy with, because it wasn't my story anymore when my biological mom rewrote it, and I didn't learn how to do things for myself because my biological dad didn't think that I could, because he didn't have the patience to teach me. So as an adult, I think even though I'm capable of doing things, I have a tendency to tell myself I'm not. And I have a tendency to not do things. And anytime someone disagrees with what I want to do or how I want to do it, I either, get really stubborn and dig my heels, and I'm like, no, I'm right, and I'm going to do it this way. Or I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. And I just cave, and I'm like, okay, you do it. Or I just assume everybody else does it better than me, and everybody else's way is better than mine, because my way was never right growing up. And my way, just letting everybody else do it, always made everybody else happy. But it didn't always make me happy. So as an adult, these are concepts and ideas and realizations that I have to mentally overcome. I have to emotionally overcome. I have to recognize that I am capable of more than I give myself credit for. I think that's why God gave that to me as a mantra, for one. And that I can do things, that I can stand up for myself, that it is okay to say that I want things a certain way. And it doesn't make them wrong, it doesn't make them bad, it just makes them different, and it's okay. And I can do it. It's just hard for me to accept that sometimes for myself, and it's hard for me to do that when there's still a part of me just waiting for someone else to come in and do it for me, so that, one, I don't have to do it, and two, that I won't get it wrong, so I won't get in trouble. Because those are the ideas I think I grew up with, and that are still in the back of my mind. They're still my default settings, that if someone else does it, then they'll do it right, and one, I don't have to do it, and then two, I won't get it wrong, and I won't get in trouble. So I am having to learn that no one else is going to come in and do it for me, so I have to do it for myself. And even if I get it wrong, it's an opportunity to learn how to do it right. Doesn't mean that I am in trouble, but every time I think when someone tells me I get it wrong, I feel like I'm in trouble. So it's just that mentality. It's just kind of what I grew up in, the environment I grew up in. And not that it was meant to be bad, and not that either of my parents were trying to be mean. I don't think they knew what they were doing, and they didn't have patience, or they thought that they were helping by doing for me. And instead, I just learned not to do things for myself. So I have been struggling to do things for myself. And doing this book and getting a publisher and having her edit it, I was kind of hoping that that's exactly what they're going to do, is kind of do it for me. But they're not going to do it for me. They're going to make suggestions, and that's what they do. They go through and say, these are the suggestions we have to edit your book to make it better. And now you have to go through and fix everything. You have to go through, like I have to go through and fix everything. I have to go through and say, yes, I agree with the changes you're making, or no, I don't agree with the changes you're making. And then I have to say why I don't agree with the changes they're making. And I have to stand up for myself, and I have to do all of this extra work. And I'm capable of doing it. Prove that by the amount of time and energy I spent doing it, and it's possible, but it's just mentally and emotionally exhausting for me to do that, because not only is it just the process of doing it in and of itself, and being that creative can be fun, but it can also be daunting, especially when you're but just the process of having to go through and reject so many changes, because it was all the contractions that I don't want in my story, and the rejecting every single one of them was just it's just time consuming and daunting, which kind of takes the fun out of the creativity part. But then I realized I had to go back through and I have to read everything, because if I don't read it and read through the sentence, then I'm probably accepting things that I may or may not like, or don't know what I'm doing. And sometimes when I reread it, I find ways to change it, or the comments that they make on the sides don't make sense if they're out of context. So again, have to read it. Had to go back through, had to read it, had to go through everything. So again, it's daunting, it's exhausting, and then of course it's not only that, it's the emotional things from the past, the emotional barriers that have to be overcome by me in order to even be willing to work on my book, even be willing to make all of the edits and make all of the changes and face all of those fears and those things, and to recognize that I can do this, I am capable. And so it was just really hard for me. And unfortunately, like I said, when I hit something like that, I hit a wall like that, I don't just not do like my book. I don't do my videos. I don't clean my house. I don't do anything else that I don't absolutely have to do. So it makes everything else in my life a struggle, because I'm struggling with just one thing. And I don't know if that's an ADHD thing, a PTSD thing, or just my crazy brain thing, but that is one of the things that I really struggle with, that when I hit the wall with one thing, I just seem to shut down everything else too. And until I can get past the hurdle of the one thing I'm dealing with, I can't seem to get past anything else. So that is a hurdle that I had to face this week, and didn't get my deadline. Unfortunately, I still had 5 chapters to go at the end of Sunday, so I had to send an email to my publisher and ask for an extension, which she said was okay, because she had a bunch of stuff going this coming week, so it's not that big of a deal, for one. And for two, she also said that we were a week ahead anyway, because the other person helping with edits got finished early. So instead of my book getting finished early, it's still just going to stay on schedule as long as I get it back to her by the end of the week. So it's okay, and I have a little bit more time to finish it, to get through my little hurdle, which I can do. So that was kind of my mental anguish for the week, dealing with that, which also was a lot of emotional things. And of course, only because God helped me to see, and because I was praying and begging him to help me, and because I had a deadline bearing over me to actually do it. So that I did do, which is fantastic. And then financial, I don't remember what I did with my finances this week. Gonna be honest, I don't think I did anything. I think all of my bills were already paid. I'm caught up where I'm supposed to be. I'm just kind of letting the money sit in my account while I figure out what to do with it. Not while I figure out what to do with it. There's stuff I still need to do and figure out with my finances. I just haven't done it. And as long as all my bills are paid, I just don't care. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But anyway, I think that's it for this week. So if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great week full of gratitude and maybe find ways to live a healthy and happy life too.